We were meant to be crossing with a Queensland player in the show tonight, but I reckon the mind games, even with the broadcaster, are being played at the moment. So, Lockie, you're in the firing line tonight.
Typical Queensland.
Yeah,
it's just typical.
Oh, yeah,
absolutely typical.
Issues, etc., etc. But anyway,
we can't win this one. We can't win this one.
Here they go. They charge on regardless tonight. Big Papa, though, what does he bring other than obviously size and experience?
Well, I think Billy's already mentioned it. He brings an aura. He brings experience. He's played in big games and he's playing well for the Raiders. And I think since he announced he retired from rep football, I think his game, he's probably mentally fresher, he's physically fresher, and the Raiders are winning because they've got a lot of good habits. So he'll obviously bring some aggression early in the game. He'll bring some experience, but he'll also bring some winning habits that the Raiders have got right now. So, and I actually think, I guess the New South Wales Blues would probably respect him probably more than any other forward on the field for Queensland.
Yeah, I think it's an inspired selection. I really do. It's never a bad time to bring experience into your Origin side, particularly for a decider. And also, I think he's going off the wave of football enjoyment that big Josh Papalii is enjoying at the moment. We saw his milestone game down in Canberra the other day where he scored a couple of tries and kicked a goal. And sometimes you can just feel the football gods are smiling on someone. We all know the football gods are Queenslanders. They brought the rain in Perth. They brought Big Papa back for Sydney. It's just their way of inflicting their little nuance into Origin and upsetting the apple cart again. And I think Big Papa is an inspired choice.
They're calling it the Alfie 2.0.
Well, it looks like he's eaten Alfie. He's 3 times the size of Alfie. But I think it's an inspired choice. I really do, because I still think they lack that little bit of muscle and aggression early in the game. Like, the first half in Perth, they were aided by the penalty count. It didn't start well for them. New South Wales jumped to a lead. They still needed that grunt up front, and they weren't getting it. And I think Big Papa can provide that. He can go out and burn himself out for the first 18, 20 minutes and really set the platform for Queensland. And he can just throw it all into that little period there and get them on the front foot.
It was quite a contrast with the other key selection, Gemart Shibasaki, Lockie, as a selector. Why Gemart to make such an appearance in a decider in Origin?
Well, it came down, I guess Murray Tuilagi was obviously in contention, but he pulled up pretty lame after the Cowboys game yesterday, and we were sort of sweating on his fitness. But once the doctor indicated that he wasn't going to be fit to train, then we then had to look at different scenarios, and one of the scenarios was Val goes back to the wing, but then who comes into the centres? And I think, when you look at, again, a team that's winning at the moment in good habits, you've got a big body, defensively he's very good, he's marked Stephen Crichton before, and so I think, when Billy went back and had a look at his games, I've got to say, and he sort of refreshed his games late last night just to confirm that he was comfortable. We went that way, and I think it's been a great story. He nearly finished up this year in pre-season. If you talk to Michael Maguire, when he was putting him under the putting him through a pre-season like Madge did, he was struggling, but he turned it around and he hung in there and look where he is now. He's making his debut for Queensland, so it's a great achievement for him. But obviously he's got a huge responsibility next Wednesday night, but we're all confident he can do the job.
Look, Darren, you would know a lot about Shibasaki's past, and I don't think our viewers would. He was a junior at the Broncos there early in his career. Then he left again. He had some injuries, and he came back on a trial contract this year. He can't be on very big money up there at the Broncos at the moment. This is some sort of comeback, but early in his career when he was a kid, he looked like being something special. Yeah,
that's right, Gus. He was always a talent. For whatever reason, probably just a few injuries, he dropped in and out of first grade, just really couldn't get any rhythm going with his game, and then went to a few different clubs. And like I said, he was on the verge of quitting. Madge gave him one more chance with a trial and train, and he's worked his way through hard effort and work ethic to get to starting the season with the Broncos in first grade. Played really well. Obviously, the team struggled there for a couple of months, but they've come back into form. And one of the players that's been really good for the Broncos in the last 3 weeks has been him. You know, defensively very strong, but he's also scoring tries. So he's a big body, and I think he'll obviously it's a new experience for him, but at the same time, I think he's up for it.
Lockie, why Hammer over Walsh?
One of the things about Hammer is, you know, getting him involved in the game. Now, if he's in and around the ball, he does, and the conditions are dry, he doesn't need much space to become a threat. And I think with Hammer, you know, playing him at fullback, he's going to be in and around the football. And I think so I know that, you know, he's going to be obviously very comfortable in that role, and he's going to be a threat wherever he goes on the field. With Reece, I think he's still building his game. Like every week he's improving. He's still got that niggling knee injury. He's building, and he's probably not right at his peak. And I just think if you look at the players in that spine, where you got Harry Grant, Cameron Munster, Tom Dearden, if they can create some running threats themselves, then Hammer's going to be the one. He's going to be the one that gets the opportunities off the back of those guys.
Huge stories for those involved and those left out altogether for the Queenslanders. It is game on.